Jeff here, and welcome back to the channel where we give you world-class videos on how to remodel your homes, your kitchens, your bathrooms, how to do tile and incredibly tough engineering projects here and failures around your house. And we do tool reviews, and we also do shop with me's through the local hardware stores to find the best deals out there for you. Well, this was a great deal that we came across here. So we are, of course, referring to the DeWalt DCE511C1 11-inch corded/cordless Jobsite fan. This is the DeWalt 11-inch cordless fan here, and we actually bought this at Home Depot a few weeks ago. So here we are in the middle of the coronavirus pandemic quarantine here, and we're all stuck at home here with nothing to do. So I thought we would do this nice tool review here for you here. Now, we had bought this here about 3 weeks ago before the governor of Florida shut down the state of Florida, and we were still able to go into the stores and nobody was wearing masks at the time. But I had actually had my eye on this fan for a number of months, hoping that they would drop the price, and Home Depot still had not dropped the price. This tool only normally costs $129 on Home Depot's website. And so our Home Depot store doesn't even carry this. So much to my shock and surprise, when I was in there on an emergency repair for a friend of mine, we stumbled across this in there, and this is the kit. This has the fan, the battery, and the charger, and this was $99. This is the lowest price I've ever seen this kit here. Now, we checked the Lowe's website, and it's $119 for the tool only there on Lowe's. And we also checked out the Home Depot website, and it is also $119 tool only there. And when we checked on Amazon, it looks like you can get it for about $90 tool only. Now, we'll put links to all of these products down below in the video description there to go to Amazon, Lowe's, and Home Depot. That way you can shop for yourself and decide which way you want to go. To answer probably the most burning question is, where is it made? Well, this particular DeWalt cordless fan here is made in China. DeWalt also tells us that this tool complies with the OSHA standard, that this one can be used as both corded or cordless. So being able to operate this fan corded or cordless is a huge advantage over the competition, I think, because if your battery runs out, you can always drag out an electrical cord here and plug it in, and you'll still be ready to operate. Okay, so other features here of this DeWalt 11-inch cordless Jobsite fan. You can also use this DeWalt cordless fan freestanding, or you can use it with multiple integrated mounting options. For example, there's a tripod mount on the bottom that you can use to mount this fan onto a tripod, which I think is just an incredible idea. It also comes with hanging hooks that you can hang it off of the rafters or maybe on your scaffolding. And it also comes with a wall-mounted base as well. As far as the specifications, DeWalt claims that this Jobsite fan here will provide you with 500 CFMs. DeWalt also claims that this Jobsite fan here will last up to 7 hours with the fan set at the maximum speed and using the 4 amp hour battery. Okay, now, on this particular DeWalt cordless Jobsite fan here, DeWalt is providing us with a 3-year tool warranty. That's a limited warranty, and 1 year of free service on it, as well as a 90-day money-back guarantee. And the little date code sticker here shows that this particular Jobsite fan was built in the 49th week of 2019. Okay, now if you want to know more information about what this IP54 rating does here for you, we did a video a few months ago where we compared the DeWalt Jobsite organizer cases with the Milwaukee Jobsite cases, and they both are gasketed and have the same IP54 rating. So in that video, we actually talked about what that means and how all of those numbers affect you, and we'll put a link to that in the video description down below for you. You definitely want to check that video out. All right, let's open this bad boy up, huh? Say hello to my little friend. Okay, so neatly packed on the top here is our battery. It's a 1.5 amp hour battery here. And then the charger is right with it. And I'm a little bit disappointed because, you know, they're giving you this DCB107 here. I really wish DeWalt would up the ante on these kits and give us more and more often that yellow charger, which I've only gotten in 2 kits so far. and that's the fast charger that DeWalt makes that really rapidly charges your batteries. In fact, it's so fast that it has a fan built into it that when you plug the battery on, you can hear the fan go starting up. So this is a little simple charger here. We don't need no stinking cardboard. Now let's pull the beast out of the cage. There she is in all her glory. Okay, so now here with the battery, this is the DCB201 battery pack, so it's a 1.5 amp hour battery pack. So the cells are made in Malaysia, and the entire pack was assembled in Mexico. So right off the bat, the only thing that I see that strikes me here that I really don't like about this battery is nowhere on here do they have any kind of power indicator on here. So you have no way of knowing when you pick up this battery if there's any power left in it or not. That to me is a big letdown. I really don't like that in batteries. I would never, you know, I realize it came with the kit, but I don't go out and normally buy a battery on its own that doesn't have a charge left indicator. Now here's something interesting that you don't see on all the batteries. Look right down here by the leads. For the first time here, you can see they've actually labeled what each of the leads are, what it does, so that's kind of interesting. You don't typically see that on the batteries. Okay, so we'll insert the battery. It goes in upside down. It just slides right in the front there until it clicks in. And they did indeed give us some initial power. Okay, so if we flip the fan onto its back here and take a look, here you can see there's two tripod mounts. One here is a massive one here. That looks like either a 3/8 inch or a 1/2 inch mount. And this one here is a standard 1/4 inch mount here that allows you to put it onto a regular tripod. Here you can see your wall mount holes right here. So you can mount screws onto either the wall or to a table or whatever type of platform you have. And then the fan will hang off of it. Now what I like about the top of the back of it has this little area here. It's like a handle for your hand to fit in, and it fits in very easily, all 4 fingers, and you just lift it up and carry it away. Okay, now if you look back here beyond the battery, see this little black door here that folds down? This is where you would use it in corded operation mode for this DeWalt cordless fan here. So you pull down the little trap door there, and that exposes a 2-prong electrical plug. So if you have any kind of electrical cord here, and you can see they left ample room around it, which is nice, to plug your cord in. That way you can power this fan without having to use a battery while you're waiting for it to charge. Then once your battery has been charged on the charger there, you can unplug. And notice how there's a rubber seal on here too, which is nice. This is what adds to your IP54 rating here too. Okay, so here's how the rear hooks work. So you have this one that pulls out here like this, and I like that it's rotatable too. If you pull it all the way out, you can spin it sideways or all the way up, and it sort of has a detent that it locks into place. It doesn't really lock into place. It gives it a sort of a range here, but it has a stop built into it. See, the stop will keep it from going any further than straight up. And the other hook does the exact same thing. You pull it all the way out and you rotate it all the way up, and it has a detent at about the halfway mark and a stop here, fully vertical. Okay, now with the rear hangers, you just rotate them down until it clicks like that. Then you push it in and you'll feel it click right there. This is what I think is interesting. It says here, use only with the DeWalt 20-volt DCB series batteries. Does that mean I can't use it with my FlexVolt battery? Well, as it turns out, we are in luck here, because the smaller battery here, as you can see, is a DCB203, standard battery from DeWalt here, from their XR lithium series here. And also don't forget that this 6.0 amp hour FlexVolt battery here is also a DCB series battery. If you look up here in the upper left hand corner right there. All right, so now I'll take the big FlexVolt battery and slide it in there. And then turn it on. Okay, so now let's check out the angle of rotation of the head here. So you can see it goes pretty much to that angle down there. And then backwards here, it can go straight up like that, and even a little beyond it, almost all the way towards the back too. So it is fairly flexible. Now the only thing is you can't rotate it. There's no rotation of the head. So if you mount this on a base or something, you'd better mount it on in the angle that you expect it to aim at, or your table had better be rotatable, or you can mount it on like a Lazy Susan type device. But otherwise you'll have to just move it like this. So I do a lot of barbecuing, and if I'm ever smoking something like I'm doing here with my world famous brined cedar plank smoked salmon here, having the fan here is great because it blows the smoke that way instead of in my eyes, especially when I'm doing steaks. I seem to get a lot of smoke that billows up at me here. So having the fan right here next to it without having to worry about plugging it in really helps out. Okay, let's do some dimensional engineering analysis, shall we? Let's measure across here and let's see what we got. So it looks like we're right at about 11 inches across here on the fan. But the actual usable part, let's measure that. That looks to me to be about 8 inches here across here, the usable part of the fan width. Okay, and the height here appears to be just about exactly 16 inches. Okay, now with the supplied battery here, this battery here weighs about 11.9 ounces. So now if we weigh the fan with the supplied battery, we can see the weight now rises up to 7 pounds, 9 ounces. Let's weigh the charger that comes in this kit. Now this is a smaller, more compact sized charger than what DeWalt normally includes in the kits for us. So this is the first time I've seen them put this one in here. This is the DCB107. So it weighs in at 10.9 ounces. Well, this DeWalt cordless fan is really one tough cookie, folks. This is where it landed right here. So all it has here is just a little bit of scuff marks there. Not too much wear for the weather here. So it looks like just a few scratches and scuffs there as you work your way down to the bottom. I'm surprised the battery did not fly off. Sometimes when you do drop tests from heights like that, sometimes the battery will fly off, but let's see if the fan still works. Yeah, she's blowing pretty good. There she blows. Okay, so now I can try my other little mini tripod that I have here, my switch pod. So I'm going to take the switch pod here and just set it up. Now I'm going to take my ball head here and set it right on here and screw it on. So there you can see it's useful when you have to be maybe off the floor a little bit, but at least up somewhat. And it gives you a tripod mount to be able to attach this to keep it at the right angle that you need it to be at. Okay, so here it is. You can see it hanging off the edge of my DeWalt folding workstation table there. So here you can see I can aim it down at the floor if you have a puddle on the floor that needs to be dried off, or if you want to aim it upwards at you, ventilate the room a little better. You can see this DeWalt cordless fan looks really stunning here, hooked up to its cousin. Okay, now we want to run some battery testing on this DeWalt Jobsite fan here. So what I want to do is I'm going to test it against both batteries here and just see how long it lasts on the battery. Now the battery that this DeWalt Jobsite fan comes with here is this 1.5 amp hour battery right here. We are estimating that the DeWalt fan should last about 2 hours on this battery. And then we'll test it on this battery here. Now this is a 6 amp hour battery, and so we're assuming we might get about 10 hours out of it, 8 to 10 hours. We're not sure. Start it up, and then we'll start up the counter at the same time here. There we go. We'll see how long it lasts. Okay, so the fan just stopped here. So it looks like we got 2 hours and 58 minutes out of this battery here. Not too bad. Just a frog hair under 3 hours. Okay, so now we're going to test the big FlexVolt battery here. But of course, since we expect this to take about 12 hours to run, I decided to bring the action into the garage and we'll let it run overnight. It's 2 o'clock in the morning right now. So we figured with about 12 hours, it should bring us into the middle of the afternoon, which would be a great time for us to end. So we will just run the fan here overnight, and it will probably end around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and we'll see how long the battery lasts. This FlexVolt battery will last you more than the entire day. At least you know that the battery that comes with this kit, that 1.5 amp hour battery, will last you at least half the day. So just like the box says, if you got a 4 amp hour battery, it should last you all day long during your job with no problems. So now we're going to test the IP54 rating of this fan here. Now, as you know, a lot of tools might also be rated IP53. So the difference between IP53 and IP54 is that with the IP53 ingress protection rating, only the water component changes. So that means that you could spray water at a 60-degree angle on this fan with IP53, but this one's rated IP54, so it means that you could actually splash water on it and it shouldn't affect the operation of the fan. So let's test it out. So we'll spray it all over there and we'll just see how it does. Even with that battery on there, I'm wondering, hey, I wonder what the outcome's going to be on that nonsense, huh? Let's see if it turns on. Yep, sure does. Blowing full speed like nothing even happened. And there's water dripping all over the place here, all around the battery and everything too. Looks like it had no effect at all on the operation of this fan. now if we pull the battery off and see, it's, a few droplets of water got in under there, not too bad. But, water all over around the battery and a little bit here. See some water got here on the battery as well, but pretty much it didn't affect the battery operation or the electronics at all. And I think we can assume there's some sort of gasket or this potentiometer here is otherwise sealed in some way to keep the water out. Okay, so now we're going to measure the wind speed in miles per hour and the CFM coming out of this DeWalt digital fan here. I want to know how much it is. And does it match what they say it's going to be here on the box? So to do that, we've enlisted the help of our tool here. This is called a digital anemometer. And what this does is the fan blows into it and turns the little turbine here, and it will measure the wind speed, and it will tell us in miles per hour how much wind we have. This will also help us measure the CFM. So here's your digital anemometer there. And here in the velocity setting here, it will give us miles per hour. So all we do is see how there's like a little gentle breeze blowing right now. See how it's making the fan try to rock back and forth there. Okay, so we'll put it right here in front of the fan, and then we'll just turn the fan on. And it's telling us right now, like right in the center, it's going to be low because it's blocked by the DeWalt logo there, see? But if we move it around in different spots here, you can see I can make it peak somewhere around 11-ish. About 10.7 miles per hour there. See? So it appears to be blowing the best right around the middle of the open area there. So my question is, why don't they put the miles per hour here on the specs on the box here, right next to where the CFM is? Well, you and I both know the reason why, because DeWalt knows that with 11 miles per hour blowing out of this thing, that's weak. That's not an impressive number to give to people. You're going to look at that and go, well, only 11? Is that it? You and I are accustomed to dealing with leaf blowers that have 120 miles per hour, okay? So CFM is always going to be a bigger number. It's more digits to put on the box here. So 500 CFM sounds a heck of a lot more impressive than 11 miles per hour. Remember, to measure the CFM volume of air moving through this DeWalt cordless fan here, we need to measure the area of this circle, calculate it. So we already know, remember, it's 8 inches across, that's the diameter, so R is 4 inches. Okay, so area equals pi r squared, which is pi times 4 squared, which is 16 pi. So this means our area equals 12.56 square inches. Okay, but our job is not done here, folks, and I'll tell you why. Because all we have here is square inches. We need to convert this to square feet. And so by doing that, you need to take this 12.56 inches squared, and we need to convert it into feet squared. So the way we do this is with dimensional analysis here. 1 over 144th feet squared equals inches squared on the bottom. That way they'll cancel here and you're left with feet squared. So in order to make this happen, we have to take this 12.56 and divide it by 144. The reason why we're dividing it by 144 is 1 square foot is 12 inches by 12 inches, which is 144 inches there. Okay, so when you do that math there, you end up with 0.082 square feet. So the area of the front of that DeWalt cordless fan there is 0.082 square feet. Okay, so I've entered the 0.082 into the meter because it needs to know the area to calculate the CFM. Okay, so now we're going to put it on flow, but you can see right there it says CMS. We're going to change that to, let's change the units. Put the light back on. Let's change the units there to CFM. That's what we need. Okay, so now we'll turn the fan on. So we're getting right around 81, 82-ish for CFM. Now, I don't know why this is such a small fraction of what they quoted on the box of 500 CFM. I mean, just judging by the way this feels to a regular bathroom ceiling fan, which is normally about 110 CFM, this doesn't really feel a whole lot different. Remember, the ceiling fans are sucking in, they're going in from the opposite direction. This is actually blowing towards us, okay? But the most we're able to get here is around 80, 81. So I don't know why there's such a difference. It could be, you know, they're obviously using a different instrument than I'm using. And not only that, the fan blade is set back 4 inches. So maybe DeWalt is measuring this CFM here without this grill in place. Because 4 inches can make a difference. I mean, let's see if I come 4 inches off the front of here. See, I drop almost half there. I think this fan will do just fine for you. It has a nice breeze inside here. I mean, I can feel it pretty good, even 6-7 feet away. So I wouldn't worry too much about the CFM numbers. I think all manufacturers have ways of fudging those numbers anyway, and they all have different ways of testing them. So it doesn't really matter to me on this DeWalt cordless Jobsite fan here, really how much CFM it is. I put it down, I plug it in, I turn it on, boom. It gives me a nice breeze. That's all I really care about. It's a personal space fan. Well, I certainly hope you're finding this video useful so far, and if you are, hey, do us a favor, please. Would you give us a thumbs up down below? Just click on that thumbs up button that tells us that you like us. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, hey, why not, man? Take a look at our videos tab and you'll see all of the useful videos we have in multiple categories. So please do yourself a favor here. Click on that subscribe button down below, and right after you do that, click on that little gray bell icon. That tells YouTube to alert you every time we upload a video or whenever we go live and do a live stream on site. So that's it for this week, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.